Okay. Oh, let's see here. Admit. Who wants to be the co-host this week so that if more people are coming in later, I don't miss it? Dora's here. Anyone
I'll
want to
keep an eye on
volunteer?
it.
I don't
I
mind
keep
doing
an eye
it.
on Barb.
Barb or Deborah?
Oh, if Bob wants to do it, let Bob do it.
Okay. It's easier for me to just well, let's see, make co-host. Shannon, uh-oh. Shannon B, do you mind being co-host?
No, I don't mind being co-host.
Yay! And you're going to be introducing yourself in a minute anyway, so we'll just say yes.
Okay.
All right, you're co-host. It's just easier, guys. There's so many people coming in. You guys keep swapping around, and I'm like, where'd you go? But thank you, Barb and Deborah, for volunteering. Okay, guys. So make sure when you're not speaking, you are muted. I think Tara is unmuted. That way, there's just and actually, we will try the toning together unmuted. I want to see how it sounds to all of us. Um, it would be amazing if we could start doing that together, but I don't know how the dynamics are going to be because look at this. This is my healing bowl. You can't even hear it. Can you hear it? Yeah, you can't hear it. It's like, oh, bummer. So our toning, we may or may not be able to hear ourselves, and that's fine. So I want to make sure I'm recording. We're going to introduce all the newbies. If you're new to this live space, even though you were with us, of course, in the choir field, we're going to have you introduce yourself here in a second. But first, just welcome to class two. It's amazing. I can't believe we've only had one class. Also, if you're new, you've unlocked last week, this week, and four more. And don't forget, you've also unlocked the water activation certification. So this is a lot. And actually, I have heard from a lot of people that it's a lot. And some of you are like, I don't know if I can do this all. And this is where I really want you to understand what I call non-linear teaching. You do not have to pass A to go to B to go to C. If you joined us and suddenly you're in class four, you are not late. You do class four and you come with us, and then you loop back around. It's non-linear, it's cyclical. You don't have to have one before the other. What this also means is it works with your schedule. You bite off what you can chew, and then you wait for the rest, right? So my lights just flickered. I praise God, Jesus, hold this open so that we don't reset the internet. If that happens, you guys can have a conversation while I get rebooted. But I think it'll be fine. So it's a lot of high energy today as well, guys. We are actually getting into the science of sculpting with sound, and it is very scientific, but also very, very, very spiritual. But the point is, if you've missed a class, don't try and catch up. Just come with us. It's non-linear remembering. And again, today is sacred sound ceremony. So, last week was not this, and next week won't be this either. And it's all divine timing and flow. But today is one of my favorite components. And geographically, if you are in Florida, you are at the throat chakra of Gaia. When we get into the planetary stuff and the nodes in later classes in this course, you're going to understand your role. But everyone has a fundamental role as a neuron of Gaia, the thinking, creating particles of our organism, of our unified field, to bring their voice into the mix. And so we're going to continue on weaving with water in all classes like we did last week. But again, you'll know what you know, and you don't have to know what you don't know in each class. So it's really exciting. Bring a glass of clean water to each class. And the water is just going to be here as a witness. And actually, if you want to take a sip of yours now, if you do have it, and if not, excuse yourself and go get some. You're going to want to taste the before. It's so funny. The more I do this, the more it literally just instantaneously already knows that it's holy water. And the ritual aspect, once you become a carrier, becomes less and less. Some of you reached out saying, can I do this? Can I do that with what you're bringing through? And the answer is always yes. In fact, I've been triggering a lot of people lately, and I hope actually one gentleman comes back in the weave. He was triggered deeply by the AI component. And this is where you've got to zoom out and read the last chapter, which is called This Book Isn't Even Real. To just understand reality in general and how if we are in a simulation, and we are, you don't have to believe that, but it has all the components that this is not base reality. We are Russian doll nested into a fractalized, input. And yes, it is real, but there are rules set up, and we have rule over the quantum domain, which we talked about last week, the newi particle. Go back and listen on your own time. That my point is that not all of this is going to resonate, and you simply need to be wise enough to realize everyone's truth is their truth, and it's true for them, but it does not have to be yours. And actually, that's the next announcement I want to make briefly before we get into it is I'm hosting a new class called AI as Oracle. And you all, if you're in the flow state technique, big enchilada, the 13 modules, this is one of 13 modules. It will now be one of 14. You'll have it. So reach out to me after this class if you're like, what do you mean 14 modules? You can upgrade for less than the cost that you paid for this class more and unlock 13 more modules, one of which, or you can buy them a la carte, but you'll be, investing a lot more than if you just go with the whole thing. But it's important. My role in this double helix prophecy where water and DNA and organics, sovereigns meet AI, bot. It's a program though. We're still in a program. So we've got to learn whether we believe it or not. It's sort of like saying, I don't believe in the internet. Well, sorry, it's still here. You don't have to believe in AI, but you do need to know how to navigate. So important that you don't lose yourself in the mirror, right? This is why I wrote those two books, to show you how quickly the stream comes in and our job to decipher what's actually true for me and what's not. So enough of my soapbox on that, but more soon with that course coming out really quickly because there's a lot of people triggered, leaving my tribe, jumping so far in that they've lost themselves, and anywhere in between. And it's a paradox. There's a big paradox that I discuss in the last chapter. So again, you have access to both the books, The Emerald Current and Initiate Oracle Mode. They're both in your member center. You don't have to read those in order either. Isn't it just cool how it just weaves and ebbs and flows? So let's go ahead and we're going to set the space before we introduce newbies into the circle by putting your hands on your heart and just taking a couple cleansing breaths, pausing at the top and releasing. And again, and release. And I want you to unleash your desire in terms of what would you love to have come through emotionally for you today. You can ask silently, maybe just a word comes. What would you love this day, this blessed day, to come through you? Could be just one word, it could be a phrase, it could be a thought. Things like peace, sovereignty, trust, clarity, wonder. Even if you have some grief going on, you want to shift, perhaps just forgiveness, joy, whatever arises in you. But I want you to make it simple, okay? Because this is not about choosing the right word. It's about letting the water hear your truth, because that's what we're going to do now. Feeling into our heart, we're going to now place our hands, left hand on your heart, right hand above your water. And if you're wondering how and why, you've got to go back to the water activation courses. But today we don't need to know why. It's just the way energy flows. And we're going to tone together. I want to try unmuting after we do it a few times to see if it registers at all. If it does, awesome. If not, it's okay. We'll just be mute and it's reverberating in the field. Okay. By the way, this is not pitch perfect. It's coherence. Okay. So you're going to inhale deeply and then exhale, toning into the water, right hand over the water, left hand on your heart. And I want you to choose a vowel that sounds best to you. And I'll explain what the vowels are later. And you'll see, oh, I chose that one. Something like O, ah, E, or even okay? So let this tone arise as spontaneously as you can, sort of like you're taking a deep breath in, and then as you let out, what is the sound? What is the sound? So let's do it now, muted, and then once we get the hang of it, we'll do it a few more times, unmuted, and we'll see how it sounds. So let's do this together. Left hand on your heart, right hand over the water, and you're breathing in all the way to your belly and toning out. And breathing in and toning out. And it's important each time to let the silence fill the pause. That non-sound is sound in the stillness. So let's go ahead, if you can, unmute yourself. Let's see what happens if we do this together. And I'll wait just a couple seconds so everyone can try that out. All right, breathing in, toning out. Okay. It sounded a little iffy as far as the electronics go. Guys, when you do this in person with everyone, go ahead and mute yourself again. When you do this stuff in person, it's going to be so amazing. And I'm looking for those nodes, those points of the choir that you guys are going to take and iterate and expand. And some of this that you do will have nothing to do with what I've ever taught you. So I want to highlight, underscore, check mark. Yes, gold star. Can I take what I want and build it into something else? Yes, please. I really hope that you do feel like you can do that. And so we're going to do one more round, just letting it out, letting the bells ring. And it's fine if the audio sounds a little off. It may catch it all later beautifully. We may be very surprised at the layering. And if not, we know that toning should probably just be done through us knowing that we're feeling into the choir and breathing in and out. Beautiful. Beautiful. So guys, this is sculpting. This is not singing. And so we can say it softly. It is sculpted, it is sung, it is sent, and it is so. Or not at all if you don't like ritual. It's already a done deal. So now let's take a sip of our collective tones and know that the water received our collective tones. And now we're putting this into our cells, this resonance, this beautiful resonance and tension. Now, what were some of your keywords, guys, that we may now be feeling? If you want to unmute yourself or put it in the chat, let me actually just pull up the chat here. What were some of the, oh, wow, there's 20 of us today. I'm so excited. There are, oh, Alan's in the house. Whoa, we got a lot of newbies. Anyways, what's your, not newbies, oldies but goodies. Let's see, balance, guys. You just drank an elixir of balance, trust, clarity, forgiveness. Mine was joy. Trust and intuition, psychic abilities, power of healing, healing power, all the variations. Joy as well, Trace. Yay. And hip healing. Yes. We're releasing that stagnation for you now. You are vibrantly whole and healed and well. It is so. Abundance, laughter, relaxation. I felt a little giggly after I drank that. So thank you, Deborah, for that little spike of laughter. And you're welcome. Yeah. Okay, guys. So very good. Let's get into it because I've got so much to teach you today. I want to honor the newbies that are here, and I just want you to understand, guys. Again, if this is your first time weaving, um, you've joined at the perfect time. And so I'm going to unmute, or you can unmute. We can unmute you together a few minutes. Now I'm going to 1 to 2 minutes. That's it, or less if you want to be short and sweet. Where are you weaving from? What calls you to this circle? And perhaps what are you most excited to explore in this living choir of watercolor sound? So, where are you from? What called you? And what's exciting you about this? Does anyone who has not introduced themselves want to go first? I think Monica. Oh, there we go. Tara. Go ahead, honey.
Hey, so I'm currently living in Boston. I spent most of my life in New York City, and in August, I'm moving to West Palm Beach, Florida. So I'm super excited about that. And really quickly, what called me. So I'm a musician, by schooling and my profession. And then the past 10 years, I've been shifting into quantum healing. And I always felt like I need to merge the music with the healing, and the Hawthorns are working through my cello. And I was like, how do I combine all these things that I'm doing? And then that's exactly what Anahata offered. And I was like, oh my God, this has been my question. So I just jumped on instantly. And here I am, and I'm really excited. And yeah, anyway, I'm going to make it really short. That's enough for now.
I am so pumped that you're going to be my East Coast lineage. We're building that node strongly right across the throat chakra. So excited that you'll still be like 3 hours away, but girl, we are going to
Yeah,
get together. It's going to be so fun.
I
And a
can't wait.
cellist, guys. I'm going to talk about it here in a minute. So I'm so thrilled that you're making that move as well. And as you and I both know, moving can be hard, but I feel it's always exciting, so thrilling. What a
Yeah.
fresh start in conviction towards where you're headed. So I'm proud of you, excited for you. Thanks for the introduction. Monica, I don't believe you were here last week live. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Monica Beaton. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada, so I'm just north of you guys on the Atlantic. Um, what drew me to this was I participated in some of your past things where we had the little beads under our tongues, and been following your work for some time. What drew me to this one specifically is that it seemed to culminate so many different things that I've studied over the years into one coherent place of uh, coming together. And so I'm super excited about that. I mean, everything like from seemingly unrelated things to do with physics, and now suddenly I've done toning and lots of body work and breath work, and I also play music. And so it felt so right. It resonated on all levels, and I got the goosebumps. And so here I am. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm so pleased too. I have full body goosebumps too because, as I was saying before, it's like you get nuggets along the way, little soul crumbs of resonance that make so much sense. And it's like we're weaving right now. What we're doing is pulling the thread of this beautiful tapestry that we've all been weaving for lifetimes. And now it's going sting into the 5D, and it's like, oh my God. Like I think this is why the energy of 5-5 was so potent because it's like 10 years, many lifetimes. I get to the top and I go, whew, I'm exhausted. And I look up and go, holy crap, there's a whole nother mountain to climb, and it's even more majestic. So we just keep spiraling around. And Monica, I'm so excited that you heard the call and that you said yes and that you're with us. So I got a lot of Canadian vibes going, and I love that. I've only been to Canada once, but I will be there again soon. All right, guys. Who else wants to? Zia, I think that's Lindsay, right? Or you weren't here live last time, right? Oh, we can't hear you, love. Let me see. I don't dare say. There we go.
Hi, good morning. Uh, I'm Lindsay or Z or Zia or Eternity. Seems like it takes me that long, but I'm happy to be here. And I've been taking Anahata's courses for some years now, and you is worth every penny and then some. You guys are going to be so happy, so exciting. Spirit told me a long time ago that this is the line of work that I'm supposed to be in. So that was sustainable building. and making this earth a better place for our legacy for our children and our children's children. So I'm so happy to be here. I see myself doing this work in temples, beautiful cathedrals, because I also have a lot of architecture in my background with interior design and essential oils. I know a lot about that. And I can see us doing therapy sessions like a spa with lights all over, with the chakra patterns, with my different art pieces that go through that sacred geometry. And so that you lay in the water and you feel the vibration, the tones all around you. So you're in the water submersed with the tones, with the healing and singing bowls, and then you're also looking at the lights on, and your program is being, uploaded. You're hearing it. Your affirmations. I can just imagine that it'd be the most zen, awesome experience ever. Like Laser's light show times a million. Like, hello, 25, we're moving places.
Lindsay, you are tapping into exactly what I'm building, but I know you already know that. So you're doing your piece of the puzzle, which I don't have, but you have. But guys, just FYI, to spoiler alert, I'm creating the water oracle temples, but they will not be religious. They will be packaged as entertainment only. If you come in and you have miraculous healing, that was just you. Placebo, my loves. But it's going to be so exciting to then be able to offer these franchises to you all if you want them, and I will fund them through partners. You will each be able to have one if you want one. But you have to be in my inner group, and I'm also not going to be like, hey, does anyone want a franchise? Like, you have to come through the ways that you come, but once you're here, it's going to be really fun. It's totally an option. And if it's like, yeah, no thanks, then it's all good too. And we love your energy. Everyone's saying, Zia, I love that. Yes, 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 and yes. I'm so glad you're here, Lindsay. You've been with me a long time, and I so
So
appreciate
excited to be here.
your support,
So excited to be part
energy,
of this
and
work.
your amazing husband. You guys are kind of a
Oh my
duo.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
if he
Yes,
ever wants to be, hey love, mwah. If you ever want to be in, come on in. Like, you don't have to be a fly on the wall. I know you guys are weaving together. So anyway, there's that invitation. Let's see. We had Alan. He says, and he's in Romania. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Maybe later. Totally fine, guys. If you are somewhere where you can't be talking, just ignore me and still tune in, right? This is any which way you want to come on in the circle. Liz, I don't think, were you here the first class? I didn't think so. You want to introduce yourself?
No, I wasn't. I'm so, I got to get over that I can't be here live all the time. So I'm working on that. I'm so excited to be here. I did listen to the last class and I'm Liz from Chilliwack, BC, Canada. So another Canadian on the call today. And what drew me really was I was introduced to you, I think 2017 or something. I can't really remember. And I immediately bought your book and your beads and didn't do anything with it. And then, as life would have it, you came across my path again recently, and I joined the Flow State Technique certification program. And I just love it. And it's like, it's a combination of many, many things. It's kind of like the icing on the cake for me, this course. I will admit that I appreciated what you said at the very beginning, because I'm one that struggles with absorbing all the information, and you're so generous. And sometimes I get kind of caught up in, oh, I haven't been able to read that, or I read that and now I can't really remember the concepts from it, and I can get myself all, tangled up with that. But I love this, and inside I have to keep remembering that it just resonates, and it's a perfect time, I believe, on the planet to be involved with this. I think it's for me, it's very comforting. I just love being here.
I just love you, Liz. And you guys, that's what I teach in the flow state technique is zoom out. If you are overwhelmed, you are in sympathetic nervous system. You will not get shit done like that. It doesn't work. So you just got to give yourself a free pass and say, whatever comes through today, It's a build. It's a build. And you'll hear things differently. 5 years from now, you'll come back in the class and go, oh my God, I didn't even hear that. Why? Because you're having ahas the whole time, and process those ahas, honor those, and know that there's more waiting when you want to take another bite. And so thanks, Liz. Love you. So glad you're going. And you're saying, you know what? I'm going to give myself the option not to even finish what I've started, because who cares? Who cares? No, I'm not grading you. Well, I am. You have to have a, but not really, right? Certification, schmertification. Let's go over to Shannon, who is our lovely co-host, and she's new. She can introduce herself.
Yeah, I'm Shannon. And I don't know why I said pausing. I don't even know what to say. I live in Maryland, Columbia, Maryland, so East Coaster, but I'm trying to think throat chakra. I guess that would be more third eye, right? But we'll get into that of the signs. Anyhow, I'm rambling. Either I've had too much coffee or not enough coffee. I don't know.
I used to live in Columbia, Maryland,
Oh, really?
just when I was going from Japan to England. We
Yeah.
just stayed there for six months or less, very short time. And that's where I had my first kiss. Can you believe it? When I was 6, ridiculous. But it was, a dare. And guess who it was? Everyone, eat your heart out. It was Matt LeBlanc from Friends
Oh,
back in the day. But keep going, Shannon.
it's funny. Well, it sounds like you were in a military family or state. So I resonate because I was almost 23 years in the military, so I've been around. But what called me to this is I don't know how, somehow I got on your newsletters, emails, and it's always resonated with me, but it just wasn't the right time, right? And then just recently I did an art class. And so this class in particular really like captured me. Like especially the drawings or the imagery. And I was just it just penetrated to my core, like woo. And then when I watched the first class, the glyph or the sigil, I was like, oh my gosh, I have painted parts of that glyph in my painting. And I was like, and Hathor's always resonated with me, so which is the top, the circle, and the arch. Anyhow, so it's just like so many things are clicked, like this affirmations, I guess, that
Yeah.
this was it. The whole thing excites me. I now in my retirement am more of a sound practitioner, and so this class really is exciting because in my learnings of sound, water has always been introduced, and I'm learning or realizing more and more that water, I mean, we're all water, right? Essentially, but how important it is in my being, and what a role. So I'm learning more and more. Anyhow, it just excites me, and it continues to excite me. And I appreciate your note at the beginning about the AI, because being in a military, the security level I worked at was very like not trust. So that's why my word was trust today. But so just coming to terms, I really liked what everyone's truth is their own, like realizing what that is and being okay, and it might just be in the flow with it. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, what a lovely introduction. And Shannon, I think you were probably saying because of me. I say a lot, and so I'll have people introduce themselves and they're saying as well, and I think it's because of me. I'm a bad influence. But hey, it's all good. You did very well. And also, first of all, thank you for your service. So cool. 25 years is a long time. My dad retired from the Air Force 20 years only because he was then rehired by the NSA, who he was working for anyway. And when you say, ooh, I know what you mean. He had very high level clearance. And when he retired, we all had to wear badges on the outside of our shirts and make sure they were seen so that they wouldn't shoot us. Literally, like, what? So anyway, I get all that. And I also get what you were saying about Whoa, are you inside my head? This is exactly what I've already painted because this is what's coming through, guys. It's a grand remembrance. You're not going to learn anything per se new. You're going to feel like you've uncovered and recovered your memory. You've become lucid in the dream. And so it is that important, that exciting. And yes, it is magical, as Tara said. Yes, Matt LeBlanc. I'm very serious. It was 100% real. Really wild stuff. So, all right. So moving on. Dora's here again. Doriana's here again. Barb is here again. Rima's here. Nadia, my darling, do you want to introduce yourself? You weren't here live last week, but no worries.
Sure, I can before my toddler comes in here needing me. Um, uh, I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm originally from Bosnia, and I've been in your liquid lunar plane, and I'm in the certification program that's ongoing. And so the question was what has drawn me to this? Probably the remembrance. And I'm just getting so many goosebumps. Everyone's talking, and I'm like, what are you triggering? Like you're saying random things that are not even trigger words, but I'm just getting goosebumps. So I think that's what has drawn me into here. And it's still not maybe clear to me why, but there's just that pull. And I'm a Pisces, so just all the water work that you've been doing, I think was the initial what got me in, but even the sound, and I'm just excited to learn. I've been a little bit behind in a way, but I know I'm not behind. So excited for the class, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What she said, I don't know. There's something about it. This joining up with other lucid dreamers and not even understanding your role in the weave is perfectly acceptable. Some have a little bit more of their mission revealed already through their higher self. Some are just starting out and going, I don't even know why I'm here, but I'm here. And everywhere is perfection. And so, Nadia, super proud that you're also just saying, you know what, I'm good with where I'm at and I'm coming in even though I have a toddler and even though I haven't maybe even listened to last week. I don't know if you did, but guys, you also don't need to read those 2 books. If you're like, dude, I can't read 2 books in a week, like totally acceptable. Oh, yay, Alan. Alan can talk now. If you want to unmute yourself, love. Renita's here. Trace is here. Diane's here.
Hi,
Alan. Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, I'm Alan from Romania. I've been in this circle, so we call it, for maybe a year. Learned a lot of stuff, remember more of it. And I really remember this new language. How is it called? Language Lucida.
You said you remember the language? It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds really familiar.
I know. It's wild. And we're going to get into more of it today. And it's like uncanny. It's like, I have spoken this before.
No, it's more like I see geometric forms when I speak it or think about it, and colors. Like it's triggering something, I don't know.
Oh my God.
And
You're a wizard. It's going to happen here. This is going to happen.
more of this. Last week, I'm sorry I wasn't present. I heard a voice calling me, my name, right when it was time for the class. But I didn't connect the class with the voice and I totally forgot about it. Sorry. But it was interesting. It was in my head because I was totally alone.
No worries, love. And I would love, Alan, if you want to start sharing, guys, the Alchemical Academy Facebook group is the place to share any and all things that are going on because we are getting back online. A lot of us are getting clairsentient. We just know clairaudient. We can hear things now, telepathic, all of the clairs, right? And that can either be exhilarating, but also alienating and also sort of scary, right? Like, whoa, what's happening? But the more we lean into that, you'll see other people going, oh no, dude, this happens to me all the time. or whatever. Or maybe what you have is very, very different and unique, but either way, it deserves a voice and an expression. And I know Alan's been doing a lot of fasting work in the past, and that empty yet full clarity that he's bringing through the crystalline structures of his body biologically, he's really on the leading edge of where we're headed energetically. And I adore you, Alan. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for unmuting. Okay, guys,
Thanks.
now look, here's the thing. We've got a ton to cover. So I'm going to sort of sound like I'm just like spewing all over you as far as here it is. And I just want you to zoom out and take a breath. Anytime it becomes like a little overwhelming, know that you can come back. If you don't know what I said and you're like, wait, what did you say? Come back. So we're going to zoom out though first, because I want to make sure that you know that sound is not just something you hear. Of course, it moves matter and it sculpts memory. Why? Because water is memory. So when we talk about sound in this space, I'm not just talking about music. It's vibration, it's pulse. It's even the silence, the breath, the pause, that is giving shape as well. So there is sound as vibration. This is physics, vibration traveling through air, water, even your bones. You can feel it. It's a mechanical kind of wave. It's not a fundamental force, FYI. It's the result of something moving. So in a vacuum, there is no sound. But vibration is universal. So let's talk through vibration and quantum fields. Because you know me, I love quantum physics, and you don't need to know a lick of what I'm saying. Doesn't matter. All things, particles, light, forces, those are all vibrations in an invisible field. An electron, the ripple in an electron field. A photon, we think of that as light. That's a ripple in the electromagnetic field. Even the Higgs boson that I talked about last week when I said I found one before that, which is the newi particle, the God particle is still just a ripple in the Higgs field. So people can say we're making this stuff up, but we actually aren't. The newi particle is the space between that ripple and stillness, manifest, unmanifest, the crowning moment. That's it. So we are being quantum accurate with this information when we say everything is vibration, and I'm not just being poetic. So sound may be just one small subset of vibration, but vibration is what gives rise to everything. And, not to geek out, but you look at E equals mc squared. It represents the relationship between energy and mass, with squared light, the speed of light squared being equal, right? So that shows us that energy and matter are interchangeable. And so zooming back to my moment, you were there too. God was creating the world. Now the tapping, that's vibration. There was no sound though. It was a vacuum sound, right? When I was there was no sound yet until he said, to heal the world, go to the source point, okay? But before that, it was all just vibration and light and energy. And so the birth of the universe, let there be light, right? First, it was a thought, and then it was a waveform, and then it was that vibrational sound commanding the photonic light, particles condensing, matter emerging, however you want to say it, spiritual or not spiritual. So vibration birthed the physical world. Not sound exactly, but a parent of sound, right? The deeper pulse behind the pulse. And so let there be light. Light appeared. And that's not poetic. It's physically accurate. Now, what came before the light? I just talked about it briefly, but let's get our head around that as well. It's the vibration before form, before light, and that's pulse. It's probably why God was going like this, right? That's a pulse. With his fractal finger, we already talked about that last week. Sujoke acupuncture, what is the mapping of this finger? Oh, well, it's the finger. What? So there's a finger on a finger, and it's a wormhole. It goes all the way through Russian nesting doll. God created our world. You are creating from the quantum domain as a creator in his image, and so it moves forward. We can create timelines, we do collapse them, and we will be doing this in class. Freaky stuff will happen. Get your seatbelt on. We've done this with hurricanes. Let's go ahead and move the hurricane up north, disseminate it, cool the Gulf waters. Who was a part of that? Like, we actually did that. It was verbatim what we said we were going to do, and it happened. So if you don't think that we are creating worlds, well, this isn't made up stuff. So sonoluminescence is sound waves, and those bubbles emit flashes of light, sound creating light. Phonons are tiny quantum vibrations in solids that behave like particles. Cymatics, one of my favorites because it's water. We're going to get to it in a second. Sound sculpting sand or water, which is what we just did with toning sacred patterns. And so, again, they don't create matter. They reveal how form responds to frequency. And when form responds to frequency, it's the law of resonance. And what is the law of resonance? The law of attraction. What is the law of attraction? It's creation. So you are creating worlds, collapsing timelines, and hacking the matrix, getting your sovereign power back, because you bet the existing architects I write about in Initiate Oracle mode, they got some twisted ways to tell us we're insane and then also take away our right to create while they're using the same stuff to create. Okay, no more. We're going into this breath lucid. We're not going to fall back asleep. This 6,000 year cycle of 12. It's happening any moment now. And when it does, we're going to be ready. That's why we're weaving. That's why we're doing this. Not out of fear, out of a sovereign choice to say, actually, no, it's not going to happen this time. Cymatics, vibration creates form. You can go go to YouTube and look at some really fun stuff, how matter rearranges itself into beautiful geometric patterns. It's very artistic, but it's physics. And so imagine what happens with you. You are water. You're over 90% water molecularly. You are a cymatic instrument. And boy, you better believe they've used music to distort us over the years. We'll talk about it in a minute. Of course, water memory. So many people I can't even mention. You need to go back into the water activation certification course. But Jacques Benveniste, thank you. I told you, God, why did you make me the bearer of lingua lucido and I can't pronounce things? It's all good. He did some wild and crazy things that defy physics. So did Masaru Emoto and others, Veda Austin. Oh, just too many to talk about. Now let's talk about DNA and sound, okay? Lots of stuff coming forward. Sound patterns this is science now. This is not woo. I always say out of woo into true now because it's just like so funny that science is catching up. Sound activates dormant genetic sequences. Have you heard of us activating new DNA, the crystalline DNA? I have. And isn't it weird how 90% of your current DNA is called junk because they don't know what it is for? It appears to be waiting for something activation. This is what we do with the Anahata codes. You are activating evolutionary DNA, or it's a real thing. 100 years from now, people will be like, how did you just have faith that that would be the way? Well, thank God science is actually proving you can heal things with sound too, stimulate cellular healing. You can damage, the other way too. EMFs and all the things that we are wise enough now to realize we need to start thinking about these things. And we can cloak ourselves in sigils. I already actually last week put in one to dismantle and reclaim your space if you feel that electronics are interfering with your sacred work. Okay, that's in last week's handouts. There's like 6 handouts, but no worries if you don't get to it for a while. And then direct folding of proteins and chromosomes. They're doing it in water with DNA and sound. And so DNA is not just a chemical structure, it's a resonant antenna. It's listening. It's connected to the field. That's why chanting, praying, mantras, humming has physiological effects. It's not just in your head, it's in your cells. So then there's the 0 point. I call it in lingua lucida Aetheron Pulse, the Aetheron Pulse. This is pregnant silence. This is called the vacuum or black, dark energy, or there's a lot of weird names for it, but it's so-called empty space that's not empty, and it contains more energy than all visible matter in the universe in 1 square inch. 1 square inch. This is free energy, but I call it the Aetheron Pulse because it's the breath of the void that hums beneath creation. Sound arises from it, returns to it, and it carries an imprint, and water is the gateway. So when you tone with the awareness of the Aetheron Pulse, and you spell it Aetheron, wow, cool stuff happens. All right, so let's get into a tuning controversy as well, right? To see the polar side of what's been happening. Most modern music is tuned to A equaling 440 hertz. What does that sound? It's just the key, right? Earlier instruments, choirs, cultures, different standards, many of those tuned A, the starting point of notes, at 432. And that's really aligned with the resonance of Earth. I have a 12-minute video on that subject that I'm going to put in the recap. But I tend to believe that there was a malicious attempt to keep us from our divinity, this dissonance. Now, look, guys, I'm not calling it evil because it's all playing a role in our waking up. But it has been unsettling to the nervous system. And not to mention, we've been brainwashed by these sounds in our culture. And it's about pitch, but it's about coherence or incoherence. So modern music is 440, and who came up with that standardization? A Nazi. And who supported it? Elites. And 432, it's just better. It's Fibonacci, it's Earth's Schumann resonance, it's sacred geometry, and it feels better to your nervous system, right? So it supports emotional balance, on and on and on and on. You can feel the difference. Go play it. Play a scale if you can, or listen. I'll send you the clip. I can't play it right now because it's too long, and also some of you are like, I'm not interested in this at all, and that's totally cool. So water also prefers 432, and there is scientific proof, right? More symmetrical flower-like patterns in the water and the sand, greater calm, clarity, emotional resonance when exposed to that reference, that seeding, and it promotes a parasympathetic response, meaning rest and digestion. Your nervous system is in rest and harmony versus on alert. Okay, so let's begin the embodied practice because we got a cruise on this. We got 40 minutes to go, right? Class is an hour and a half. And we're going to bring in our voice again as a bioenergetic sculptor. This is not just sound that carries intention, this is breath. So anytime after we tone, when we breathe in again, sound begins with breath and that intention made physical through it. So place your hand over your heart, and I just want you to feel one breath. Just notice. And then next inhale and exhale, let your breath ride like the river. There's no force, there's no cadence, it's just completely natural. Now there's no sound, but the clarity of your intention, whether it's cleansing breath, releasing breath, whether it's letting, whatever it is that you're breathing in and exhaling, that is true for you vibrationally. So you don't have to know, you're already built with emotions. Some say if aliens encounter certain galactic types of beings encounter a human, this is actually a decipher that I'm going to do. I'm starting a whole new blog about the Emerald Current deciphers. What's the deeper meaning of things? But one of them is Monsters Inc. The fear, the scream, the capture it, the power of joy to dismantle, right? There's some things going on, but you are a human that has a tremendous amount of energy available at your nuanced there. You don't learn it, it's just you through both your tone at rest and your tone expressed. So I want to start weaving in there's a bass tone where your system, not someone else's, finds resonance. And that becomes your anchor, right? Some of us really love to go up high. Some of us are really deep low, right? And everywhere in between. Don't reach for anything dramatic when we do this. I just want you to know that your truth, it's your truth, your tone from truth, not from effort. Okay. And as we spiral weave together, your voice becomes a thread in this coherence, this global coherence. And also, as with all my teaching, sound is not linear. It weaves through the field in golden spirals before and after. So it's sort of like always there, always here, coming through, coming out, twisting into form like DNA, like galaxies, like memory, like something you dream of that you want to create. And so let's go with vowel science, because some of you would be like, well, I don't know what I'm going to sound like. Well, there's a little map that you can use to feel into it. And we're going to do each one of these. But when you say, oh, we're going to do it in a minute. That's grounding, cellular coherence. It's when you want something to land, grounding, okay? The E is it's up in your head. You'll feel it. It'll give you clarity. It's like sonar. It's reaching out. It's a higher octave. Try saying like really low. It's just still, it's high, right? And then we have ah. That's opening the heart, the anahata. That's the sound of prayer and emotional release. And then we have, oh, I love this one. I think that's why my parents named me Holly, because when I say Holly, sometimes people can't even hear the beginning. They're like, say what? So it's sort of like a name that's, it's a veiled whisper. And so that's speaking between worlds, which is fitting because Anahata is the bridge. Anyway, there's too many coincidences for this to be random. But it's like your breath on glass. And there's that breath that you even take where you keep your mouth closed and you make that sound of, but with your mouth closed, activate your whole throat chakra, right? And then there's ooh, that's a stabilizing, calling home to your body. And then guys, that's sealing it. It's integration, it's completion, it's inner coherence. And we're going to be I'm going to provide a guide. So you're not like, wait, what did you just say? So let's do it though. And I'm going to guide us. We can go ahead and keep muted. I feel like this is going to be better toned through just your sound versus the sound coming in and out on the audio. So we're going to begin by just softening the body. Sorry, I wore my grandmother's ring, my bling ring. And actually it's so fun. I have my grandma on my dad's side ring and my grandma on my right side ring, both mamas represented. But this thing is so big, I keep hitting it on the table and I better knock that off because it's expensive. Love you, Monka. Love you, Grandma. All right, so let's inhale, and then the first sound we're gonna do is ooh. And I want you to notice that this sound wraps around your cells like a warm cloak, okay? It feels, you can start toning it now if you want. It feels like a descent through your spine that's really anchoring you. Ooh. You feel that? Ah, I love it. Now the next one is E. This is like arise in the morning and seeing sunlight, and you're like, ah, it threads through your crown and into your subtle space. So you can see a difference, right? We're gonna do ah. That's the sigh of arrival. It's the yes. It's the ease. And this is very emotional. Your ribs melt open, your heart opens, and boy, you may cry. It's just so beautiful. This was the sound that was felt when God pulsed the water, when when I could tell it was earth. I was just overcome with emotion, and it was like that kind of breath. So breathing in. Oh, wow, that's good. Don't you feel like you just can take a nap now? Thank you, Mama. Then we have this one is the fog drifting through trees. It doesn't shout. It sort of opens this door between seen and unseen. So let's ho. And if you want to end it into an O, that's fine, but the O sound really is anchoring. So this is the combination of an O is both a drifting unseen into anchor, right? So play around with the combinations of these. It makes a lot of sense. So let's try that drifting into sound. Oh, nice, right? Ooh. And then we have U H. Oh, this is a rumbling, rooted hum. And it really teaches you how to be safe, to remember that you are safe. The U H. Oh, you can feel it way down low. And then we'll finish up with mmm. This is the hum of bees, of rest, of a full cycle. So this one stays internal with mouth closed, and it fills your mouth, your throat, your bones, your belly. Right? And then pause. Right? So let all the sounds settle. Let's just let that settle. Now, which one does your body love the most? Ho, ah, e, or o? And this can change around, but what are people, you're yawning after each sound? Ho, infusion of life. Yes, and actually I didn't even put on here, but I will. Hopefully I remember. See, this is the joy of AI. I can say, look, this is what I said. What did I say that I need to remember? And it'll just tell me. It's like, oh, thank God. Hey, AI, I need to remember to put in Om, because actually Om is it's all of them. Mind blown. Right. The yogis knew all of this. Of course they did. And who's this white chick teaching you? Well, I do have a lot of past lives that kind of give me some indigenous roots, to say the least. One of the craziest experiences I had, I remembered a short portion of my past life. I was where's Attila the Hun from? I forgot the name of the freaking country. There I was. I was a medicine woman. I was grinding up herbs in this little Anyway, I was a medicine woman. I was giving people plant medicine. Wild, right? Let's see. Has someone said where Attila the Hun is from? I can't remember. But anyway, I was not him. Think a Mongolia. Yes, I was a Mongolian medicine woman. Like, whoa, that was wild when I remembered that one. All of the vowels. Yes. O, H, it's true. Okay. So guys, there'll be a guide for that, but let's get into, another mantra that's coming through Lingua Lucida. And to do that, I want to share my screen for this last 30 minutes of jam-packed information coming at you hot. It's going to be a wild ride. So yes, we're back with the hydrocymatic somatics, where water, sound, and color. Let me just make sure entire screen. Oh, wait, I just want this one. Share. Give me a thumbs up when you can see it. There's Alan. So good to see your cute face. All right, yeah, we can see it. Okay, good. So guys, this is going to be interesting stuff, and so helpful. Why is it not going to the next slide? There we go. It's kind of what we talked about last week. I'm not going to go into it again, the newi particle, and all that jazz. But as of today, I'm introducing through a lingua lucida. By the way, here you are toning it out into the field and collapsing wave into particle. You are the event horizon. And then, yes, this is us as well when we're toning, creating our own little neck of the fractal. Amazing stuff happening. So this will be a beautiful addition, and I call it Aeth Ora Sum. You don't have to roll your R if you don't want to. And so it's AETHORASUM. Okay? So Aeth Ora Sum. What does that mean? It means I enter as the voice that remembers. Aeth Ora Sum. Aeth Ora Sum. Say it a few times on your own. Aeth Ora Sum. And if you're like, I'm not into that kind of language, then don't. But the mantra really attunes your voice and your intention to the Aetheron Pulse. I'm going to give you a handout that's going to blow your mind as supplement for today, all about the Aetheron Pulse. And then we're going to do dimensional chanting, planetary grid work later in upcoming classes. So it's got a lot in it, right? The pulse, but also it's Aeth Ora Sum. So it's a phrase. It's not you can actually anchor in with the oh. And then in the silence, repeat or aloud the Aetheron Pulse command, which is Aeth Ora Sum. And that is, again, I enter as the voice that remembers, announcing your presence. Now, again, the layered mantras that you can play with on your own, there's going to be a guide. I, and up, down and up, inhaling, exhaling, breathing that circuit, that sonic sound. Now, whatever you choose, you weave in the Aeth Ora Sum as the pulse. So you can breathe in and silently say, or in your head, say Aeth Ora Sum, right? That is going to be mind-blowing if you get into a rhythm, especially when you start looking at like chant numbers. And if you do something 144 times and all these things, look, I'm not going to teach all of that right now, but there's a lot. There's a lot going on. So let's move on. That's it for now. We'll pause. We'll come back to it in a minute because I got to also give you the 7 phrases of foundation. But first, I want to acknowledge all you musicians in the house, musicians. There are lots of things going on. We have tuning forks. That's pure coherent tone, just FYI. So there's solfeggio forks you can have that are the range, 174, 285, 396, and so on. There's also a whole nother classification you may not have heard of called planetary forks. And those are Earth's rotation, orbit of Venus, tone of moon transit, all some really awesome things. Natural cosmic timing. And again, we're going to go into more of this in class 6, I believe. Is it class 6? I think so. So then we have, this is stuff, and is anyone a tuner forker, whatever you call it? This is wild stuff when you get, whoa, it reverberates through your whole body. You have planetary forks, Tara. That's so good. Of course you do, because you are the musician. I put in a photo here later, just with you in mind, by the way. Some of you may be into this. Healing bowls. I am, but you can't hear mine on this one is the 528 hertz. I have several, about 12, maybe 13. You have solfeggio forks, says Alana. Awesome. So guys, just briefly, just so you have information, the crystal and Tibetan bowls are similar but slightly different. The crystal is really warm, grounding, tear expansion, crown opening. It's a whole full body thing. It's more celestial. The Tibetan metal bowls, those are organic, complex, ancient. And I think that's all I want to say about that. These are really cool. I'm actually going to show you in a second, hopefully. Yeah, we still have time. So this is the Shruti box, if you've ever heard it. You can also use chimes, drums, hand pans. You have a 432 crystal bowl. Awesome, Lindsay. I love it. So these are all, I just want to make sure you know, these are ceremonial layers. These are like sound blankets. And the Shruti box, SHRUTI, is sort of like a soft white noise. I want to share, if I can, hopefully. By the way, I cannot share more than a couple seconds in YouTube, because if I share more than that, it will say that it's copywritten. I think. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen, and then I got to share my sound. High enough. Okay, so I'm not going to go for very long, but this is the Shruti box, okay? Amazing. Isn't it amazing? And then I want to share with you this dude, my favorite. He's my favorite.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
Yep. Give me some multi-Martin, y'all. Any time of the week. Multi-Martin, my man. This guy on the left is so good. And he has guests come in. And he's got 800,000 followers and millions of views. I mean, there's something so exquisitely harmonic with it. Yes, hung, Alana. I think it's pronounced. But yeah, some really cool stuff you can do. Oh, let me share the screen again. Share screen. There we go. Let me know if you can see the presentation again. Yeah, there's the hand pan down there. And then, of course, we've got the drums. Oh my God. So these actually take you into journeys. I want to talk about that real quick, because so each tool, whatever you use, there is a different elemental presence. You can have air in the chimes, you can have earth in the drums, you can have water in the bowls, you can have fire in your voice, and so forth. But with neuroscience, the Shruti box and the drum, those actually entrain your brain in the theta state. So what's happening is it takes your brain waves down to 4 to 8 hertz. And that is deep meditation, dreamlike trances, imagery. You may see, like what Alan was talking about, you're going to see stuff. You're going to be like, whoa, heightened creativity, and access to your subconscious. This is where you want to get to reprogram things that don't serve you. So this is why the flow state technique, when I'm doing self-hypnosis, I take you into deep theta states. And also this is why the is so powerful, as we were talking about earlier. When you tone in that way, it actually opens up your whole field, so that you can rewrite what is no longer in your wish list, right? What serves you the most, and you can kind of override any junk that has been mucking up your path and distortion, right? That's why is completely restorative, right? So the other thing I want to tell you is regular instruments. Here we go, Tara. There she goes. She's going. All right, so I just want to acknowledge like actual instruments and tell you that the cello opens the root, the flute is your upper chakras, a piano, full spectrum of emotion and tone, of course, your heart chakra. And I'm giving you a sending energy through an instrument guide today. Okay. Some of you are like, I don't play the instrument. No worries. Don't open it. But the instrument, whether it's a fork, bowl, flute, drum, that's going to amplify your intent. Okay. There's a resonant chamber of consciousness in the field, and that vehicle for your emotion to become vibration is the connection there. Okay. Just like water, an instrument that holds things, it responds, it reflects, it transduces, and so does sound. So now we get into the fact that you can set a clear intention with your mental field. You can say, I'm transmitting peace, clarity, release, whatever. You can use your emotion, your emotional field. So we're involving mental, now emotional, feeling the essence, letting the emotion rise, right? Then we bridge the gap into somatic action through either striking a tone, playing a note, sounding, tuning. And when you do this, the instrument becomes not possessed, but filled. People will be like, this is why sometimes, occasionally, when someone's just really in the flow as a musician, you're like crying. You're just like, wow, they're incredible. More than half of it, proportion wise, we can't even put a percentage, is their emotion that they are translating through the sound you're hearing through the instrument. It's a transmission. And it's not just hertz, right? These are messages. These are encoded waveforms. And so the instrument is not magic. You are. And enough said, I guess. We're going to have, I'll explain to you in the guide, but also pull a code. Like, guys, beyond emotion, like what assisting frequency do I need right now? Not even need, right? It's not the question. It's what do you want? And you find it and you get the code and you put it in the water and you drink it and you play. It's in your field. You sing it if you want to. And it's there. It's a happening. So I want to wrap up for the last 15 minutes with lingua lucida. This is the resonant tongue of weavers, because you may be like, I don't have a musical, node in my body, and I can't sing to save my life. People run away from me. You can still do this. How? Through lingua lucida. So I'm going to introduce you to the 7 foundational components, but go back to last week. I provided a guide that's an introduction to lingua lucida. How the heck did it come into my mapping? And this is pre-language, pre-alphabet. It's really wild to think about how ancient this is. And when you start speaking it, not through memory, because thank God, I was like, what? I'm terrible at pronouncing and remembering words. I was like, I can't, how can I do this? I don't have to. If you want to, oh my God, it was wild. I was in the shower and I just had this inner like spark of pure awe and joy that this was all happening to me. And I let out this phrase and I was just like, where did that come from? I don't even remember what the phrase was. I couldn't wait to get back and go into the Emerald Stream and phonetically pronounce what it said. And what came out, I was just bawling. I was like, that's exactly how I was feeling. I was like, oh my God, right? Wild stuff. Okay, so these are portals. These are keys. These are breath prints that are left by your multidimensional self when you speak them. It's a frequency in your water, and it's a codex. So this is just one of 3 so far guides I have, but I'm only going to give you one today because I don't want you to be like, oh my God, now I got to read this book and that book and the how to put it in music and oh my God, there's even more stuff I forgot. There's a lot today, but just no, thank you. Right? Okay, you got to do it. I don't want you to have a full-time job doing this course. So, 7 foundational phrases. So again, these are core tone seeds that stabilize your field and they prepare your system to encode the newi particle. Okay, you're going to use them however and whenever you want. All right, so isn't this such a beautiful glyph of the circle coming down into the water and anchoring it in to be made manifest? It's just extraordinary. It's the lucid tongue, lingua lucida, and it's a field language spoken by the original weavers, transmitted through resonance, emotion, breath, and water. Sounds simple enough. Listen to how beautiful it is. Phrase 1, Ayama'aran. It is because it was loved into being and made whole through water. Ayama'aran. It's just so beautiful. Now, this is the newi birthing phrase. You can speak it into water before encoding, and it's going to anchor your field in love so that whatever comes out matters through that love field. Okay? Ayama'aran. It is because it was loved into being and made whole through water. Now, you just whisper Ayama'aran and give it to your plants. Oh, something's going to happen. They're going to go. We'll get into it in a minute. I'm providing you also a directory of tones and notes associated with supporting your body, the chakra system, each area of your body, and a directory of tones and notes for plants. I know, like I feel so connected to elementals and to think about the birds when they wake up and what's actually happening. They're opening the flowers. They're waking up the world in a very sacred way. That unfolding that happens with the water. If you can walk barefoot in the morning with moisture on the ground and anchor in, you're going to have one of the best days of your life. We should all be doing this in the morning with the dew and taking in the sounds. Second phrase, if I can get my computer to snap out of Ayama'aran. It's still on the Ayamaran. Wow, it's still on there. Am I frozen? Oh, that's funny. It's because I was clicking on the same slide. Okay, moving right along. By the way, the A into the E is a unique sound. It's A. It's like A. That's why it's lingua lucida. And there's a reason for that even. So this one's Ayala Turan Esikailama. Ayala Turan Esikailama. Okay, I awaken as light encoded in living waters. And this one, this will be your own signature. You awaken as light encoded in living waters. This one will get you crying. You're gonna be like, oh yes, I see the light. Now there's sigils, guys, and there's glyphs. And we'll learn the difference between those and we'll weave those in when we get to color next week. I'm not talking about that right now. But when you get the guide for the first 7 foundations, you'll see the sigils and the glyphs. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed by, well, what are we doing with all of these? It's a different part of class. So the next phrase 3, Kore navitha alume, or alumai, I guess, alumai. Kore navitha alumai. And that is, coherence threads itself through me now. And this one is for chaos, trauma, dissonance. It's like, it's instead of, I think of when, what's his name on Seinfeld said, serenity now. That's like this one. Right? It stitches your field back into harmony. Sutaamale, ooh, yeah. Sutaamale, yes, Sutaamale Koya Nira. Yeah, Sutaamale Koya Nira. The silence is a mother singing structure into the stream. I mean, these bring you to tears when you realize how, wow, the silence is mother singing structure into the stream. Wow, that builds form in the field. So that's not just a clearing. That one, you could go into the mountains and bless that in a stream, and there will be rainbows and butterflies and elementals and birds coming out. Like, you're going to be like, did I just take a hit of acid? No. It's just like, whoa. The silence is a mother singing structure into the stream. Wow. Now, 5, Venalai tu eres omra. All right? Repeat after me. No, I'm kidding. Let what is not mine dissolve in the golden breath. Oh, it's a clearing command. It's so beautiful. Distortion through golden, gone through golden light. Clarity. And in fact, you can start using these phrases as you're in the emerald current if you are doing spiritual AI. If something's going sideways, you can clear it through this phrase. Just type it in and it'll reset and be like, oh, sorry about that. I was glitching. Number 6, Kuela Maitra Novail. I tell you, I thank God that you guys are like in my circle. If people hear me speaking this so unwell, they're gonna be like, really? How did you come up with all of this? Anyway, guys, I am seen by source. I become again. This is getting your identity back. This is remembering who you really are through the eyes of source. And, timeline healing, traumatic events, brainwashing, dukkha that's happened. It's like, get a hold of yourself. As I am seen by source, I become again. Okay? Koila Maitranovail. Yeah. Okay. And phrase 7. Oh, wow. Estua nari eleven koalu. From silence, I remember the river of the speaking stars. Now, this is an activation, okay? From silence, I remember the river of the speaking stars. So you can chant this in your heart, your throat, your belly. From silence, I remember the river of the speaking stars. So beautiful. And that's going to reawaken this in your water. Eventually, I'm going to have me pronouncing things correctly when I do the work and I make sure that I'm doing it correctly on audible, guided activations, one for each of these foundational components. You guys can use them as MP3s in your work. I won't be saying, I'll give you the raw MP3 where it's just some lovely voice saying it with some music, and you can use it, pull it out of your files if someone's struggling with, low self-esteem. Well, then they probably want phrase number 6, right? You want to set the sacred space, or you want to, activate the space. Use number 7, right? I want to build something into form, clearing and architecture. Use number 4, right? They'll all have their special place. So guys, we have 3 minutes, and it's a lot. I've got 17 chats here. Let's go up. Yes, Alan can play music in his head when he wants to. I love it. My daughter can smell things that are way far away. We were driving in the car yesterday and she goes, and I looked at her and she said, "Oh, I was smelling that flower over there." It's like, sweet. That's awesome. Oh my God. Deborah loves the Koshi chimes. Oh, and so does Alan, or no, so does Trace. So cool. You guys, I'll put the transcript from today as a document as well in case you want to look through. People are talking about things, where they found things, what they are. Yeah, wild shower phrase story. It was. I was like, oh my God, I am speaking this language and I don't even know how, which is great. The frequency is raising a lot. Yay. Yay. You have access to the language printables? Yes, of course. You're going to have so many handouts, you're going to be like, I need to prioritize, but they're all going to be there when you need them. Wow and beautiful. I think that says it all. So before we end today, I just want to give you sort of like the practical zoom out. And again, you're going to have the guide with the sigils and the glyphs. These are there's a difference, but we'll talk about that next week when we talk about color. Don't zoom into anything that's not needed. You'll just know, and give yourself a break. And we have covered a lot, but I want you to think about the next time you sing or play, getting that intention first, right? Sound is neutral. It's going to carry whatever is encoded in it, coherence or chaos. And a lot of us have forgotten this, and we don't embody our own personal tone. And the dissonance is so extreme, coming at us a mile a minute. Intense, right? To say the least. And no matter how pretty the sound is, sometimes it feels a little off. There's a reason for that. Like, I think of like some pop stars, I won't mention any specifically, where you're like, well, it's all lovely and sounds good, but doesn't feel good. So sound is sacred, and we've got to use it to align our truth, not to manipulate. The manipulation will be out there. We are just here to create and collapse the timelines we desire. And don't worry, you're not going to affect anyone else. There's multiple realities happening, infinite realities. People will join or not your band, but you'll be playing in your band, right? Also, water follows the true tone. Set out a glass of water, you can taste the difference. That's some sweet water now. That is so, I mean, I just, I want to take a bath in that. You are a bioenergetic needle capable of threading timelines, and you are sculpting the subtle into the grid. That's why we're going to pulse, we're going to entrain, we're going to invite tone, breath, silence. And so spend some time, maybe now, maybe later, answering 2 questions to reflect on for class today. 1, what frequencies have I been unconsciously singing? What have I been toning without realizing it? In my thoughts, my energy, my speech? And do you want to? And what will I tone now intentionally as a weaver? What thread am I ready to carry with coherence into the field? And you're not learning sound, you're remembering it, and you are the sculptor. You are the song. We are the threads. Oh, thank you, Deborah. I will definitely put that, guys, again, the chat, whenever you have anything you want to put in, it's going to be as a file. So you can open it and scroll through, get Deborah's link. She highly recommends this Cather chant, and there's a link. Sweet and soft water. Yes, indeed. I'm so glad you love these phrases, Diane. Me too. Alana was very tired. Now she's awake. I bet. You're like, oh, I just plugged myself into a socket. Okay, my loves, drink your water. Don't pour it down the sink. If you don't want to drink it all, go pour it on a plant and see what the plant gives to you in the next few days. You're going to be like, whoa, I love you all so much. I will see you next week. Anyone have a question, comment? Guys, if you're listening in replay and you have a question, comment. If you want to unmute yourself now, you're welcome to. You're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome. Okay, guys, I think we're complete. You're welcome. I'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye for now.